true knowledge. He decided to walk backwards with his shoes on his head and sought to amuse himself, but amused God instead. He mailed many letters to saints, both living and dead, using a code from forgotten dreams being found. And he laughed out loud when he heard that sound, that secret chord of his code being read. Then he opened his eyes and was pleasured to find that the devil was thwarted from having something to bind. And the angels were laughing from the sayings he said. With a heavenly howl, they showered him with splashings of golden white light. For the code correctly included being commanding, concentrated, and contrite. He danced with lightnings, and he dodged God's wrath. For he had mastered the art of traveling, the unknown and untrodden, resplendent white path. What is this walking backwards with the shoes on the head? This refers to the Taoist idea, not just Taoist, but specifically they talk about the backward flowing motion. On a superficial level, it refers to semen retention. On a more profound level, it refers to the abandonment of desires. When we erroneously perceive that the world is outside of us, we see certain things and we allow a desire for them. That which is not us, we want. It could be, if we are a man, it could be a woman. It could be riches or some sort of security or fame. What do? We send out tentacles of light, filaments, tiny strings of light, and they go out and they are seeking to grab a hold of our object of desire. If they successfully grab that, perhaps a woman or something of value, the tentacles of light wrap themselves around it and possess it with a certain amount of satisfaction for the soul, but it is an inferior satisfaction. If somehow that object of desire disentangles from our tentacles of light and escapes, our soul is quite distraught. An unfulfilled desire can lead to reincarnation after one's particular life has ended. So the backward flowing motion, going more profoundly deep than simple semen retention. The backward flowing motion has to do with voluntarily disengaging the strings of light and reeling them back in. Because the spiritual practitioner knows that he is weakened by desiring things. It's just that simple. The light goes out of his body and it overextends the strength of his own spiritual light. He decides to pull the light back in. He can feel his spiritual energy becoming stronger as a result of this. Shoes on the head refers to understanding that we don't need to go from here to there to travel. Not in a physical way. Shoes on the head refer to realizing that we can travel to all corners of the universe in our mind. So where do we travel to? We travel to the beginning of things, the land before words. That's when we get back to the origin of ourself, our own true self, our original face. When we travel back to the beginning of things, we can hear something extraordinary. We hear the secret chord, the code, which is another way of talking about the internal Om, the sound of many waters, the sound of God's voice. The rest of the poem I will leave for you to spiritually decipher. Namaste. God bless you.